Hi, I'm Lois with Aussie Lozzie Knit Designs, and this is Knit Bit. Today what we're going to talk about is the skill level or project level in a pattern, and what the standards are, what they mean, and why there's so much variation happening. So first, let's take a look at what it should convey to us as knitters approaching a pattern. It's supposed to inform us of what skill level is required to knit the pattern, or a better way to think of it is, what is the project level of this particular pattern? It's not a reflection of you, the knitter, but rather what skills are required in order to knit this pattern. So the standards are coming from the Craft Yarn Council. They have 4 levels: basic, easy, intermediate, and advanced. And each one of these has a clear definition of what it means to be categorized in that category. So for example, the first level is basic, and it includes knit and purl and possibly an increase or decrease. And then the second level from that is easy, and they add to that it has some simple stitch patterns. Okay, so it's supposed to guide you, the knitter, into knowing, like, okay, what kinds of things will be included in this pattern. So if I pick up a pattern that's rated basic, I know that that's just going to have knit and purl and maybe an increase or decrease. That's what that rating is supposed to say to me. So the variation occurs in that some designers are using a different rating system, and that's okay, because it seems to be a pretty accepted practice that rather than using those graphics, what we say is, hey, this is a beginner knitter pattern, or this is for intermediate knitters, this one's for advanced. And so it becomes easier for the knitter then to identify the pattern, right? Because they're going in and they're like, I'm a beginner, so I'll put in beginner patterns, and boom, I've got all these patterns to choose from. Where it can become complicated and confusing is that if I create a pattern and I feel like a beginner should be able to do it, and I put on there that it's a skill level beginner, but then a beginner comes to that pattern and it's way too complicated for them. And then they can feel discouraged by that. Like, I thought I was a beginner, but I can't even do this pattern. That's what it's for beginners. And so that's kind of where some of the confusion comes in. There are other ways for you to see if a pattern is the right fit for you. If they are using the Craft Yarn Council graphic and rating system, so that's basic, easy, intermediate, or advanced, and I'll put a link so you can see what those graphics look like. If they're using that, then that should be a clue to you that they're following the definitions as set forth by the Craft Yarn Council, and that way you can know what skills are required to knit that pattern. If they're not using that, there's some more investigation that we can do into the pattern to see if it's going to be a good fit for you and for your skill level. So come back tomorrow and we'll talk some more about knitting pattern skills.